Hey, Dreckie here, and let's talk about micro SD cards. Micro SD cards are a fairly confusing topic when it comes to dashcams because there are so many options available. The best cards for dashcams currently are the Trandscend high endurance cards. These cards are well reviewed in terms of speed and reliability and are recommended on several dashcam enthusiast websites. Unfortunately, I don't have one myself as they're a bit difficult to get in Canada at a reasonable price, so I just printed out this picture of one for you to see. I mean, it's a micro SD card, they don't really look unique. Also, I recommend getting a minimum of 32 gigabytes or 64 if your camera supports it. I'm going to get into some technical info about SD cards, but the main point of this video is don't cheap out. It was a mistake I made when I first started buying dashcam gears. I got my cam and I also bought a Sandisk Ultra cards. These cards are cheap for a reason and are extremely unreliable in dashcams, to the point where Sandisk no longer warranties the cards if they are used in dashcams. I thankfully caught the card when it started to have errors, but there are countless stories of others who thought their cameras were working, only to find out their cards had no data on them when they needed it. To understand why these cards are so unreliable, let's take a look at the underlying technology inside of a micro SD card. There are two common types of consumer-grade micro SD cards, MLC or multi-level cell, and TLC or triple-level cell. Data in a micro SD card is stored as a bit, which is located in a physical cell. The key difference between MLC and TLC is the number of bits stored in each cell. In a TLC card, each of the cells contains 3 bits of data. In an MLC card, it's typically 2 bits. Most of the cheaper cards available on the market today are based on TLC because, well, put it this way, if the cells are the same size and you can put 3 bits of data into the same area where you would normally get 2 bits, that means a TLC card can have 1.5 times the data storage that an MLC card can have in the same form factor. This is why it is the most commonly used technology. Today's applications demand more storage in these tiny cards. The trade-off for jamming more bits into a cell is that TLC storage does not last nearly as long as MLC. The lifespan of a TLC card can be as low as 1/3 of that of an MLC card because each cell is used more when data is written to the card. A TLC card in itself isn't inherently a bad thing, and for most applications they work great. Dashcams, however, are quite the demanding application. A dashcam continually writes data to the entire card over and over again, meaning that in a TLC card, each cell wears out faster because more data needs to be written to each cell. All of these cheap cards over here are based on TLC flash, and even among these cheap cards there are differences. Some cards offer faster speed. Different cards have better warranties. Some cards offer features such as air correction, and others, well, they just straight up die without doing anything. I don't really recommend in any case using cheap SD cards because they are often not fast enough to keep up and they are nowhere near as reliable. That rules out most of this pile here. The thing is, there are some cheap TLC cards that people use in dashcams and they seem to work fine. MLC cards currently cap at 64 gigabytes, so TLC cards are required if you want more storage. I have personally used these Lexar 633 cards in my dashcam for a long time and they didn't fail me. If you're going to buy one of these though, grab yourself a 128 gigabyte. They're around $43 and have a warranty that is not voided with dashcam use. They're about the only cheap ones I can recommend offhand though. Information about cards from manufacturers is scarce, and many manufacturers void the card warranty if they're used in dashcams, so do be careful if you are buying a cheaper card. That's why I generally recommend the Trandscend High Endurance over any other cheap cards. They are designed for dashcams. I don't recommend other Trandscend cards though because the warranty is void if you use them in dashcams. There are other brands with MLC cards out there, like Kingston Industrial, which is more expensive than Trandscend, or Adata Premier Pro, which is dirt cheap. But I haven't really tested either of those yet, and it's hard to find reviews on them, so reliability might be questionable. In conclusion, my recommendation is to buy cards designed for dashcams and buy them from a reliable retailer. Avoid Sandisk Ultra cards and perhaps even their high endurance line, and third-party retailers such as Delkin, Silicon Power, or unbranded cards. Don't waste your money on cheap cards because they can fail you when you need them most. Also keep in mind that MLC is a bragging point. If the card doesn't advertise MLC, chances are it isn't. Thank you for watching. I hope this cleared up some questions about SD cards. If you have any more questions though, let me know in the comments below and I'll try and answer them. Visit dreckietech.com for more.